And welcome to the Computer Games Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell.
All right.
James Farley.
Hey.
And unfortunately, Michael Fox.
Yeah. I'm back.
There's a reason for this, because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't want him on. But we've been forced to bring back the egg for one simple reason. Matt Murray has had everything stolen from his house. So that's the sort of emergency that will bring a Michael Fox into the fray.
Hang on. Was Michael involved?
I was going to say, have we ruled that out?
My grand plan is coming true. It's all coming to fruition.
Oh, of course. Fuck. Yeah.
It all makes sense, doesn't it?
Send the old Bill over there. Yeah, weird. I'm suspicious.
No jurisdiction over here. You're all fucked.
Hello, Michael. How have you been?
I'm good. I don't sound American, which is nice.
I was fully expecting you to come on and go, howdy, partner.
How you're going to catch it like a virus or something.
It's a sickness.
Telling us about the snake in your boot and how someone poisoned the water hole. How you find it over there? What are you doing? What update us?
God, I'm very, very busy. Still working for the same company. Inexplicably, they haven't fired me yet. That's nice.
You're working. I see you moaning on Facebook about your job. You're working in a board game shop now, is it?
So the company I work for has lots of different divisions in the world of games, and
right.
Because everything went to crap for a little bit with the shop, I was put in to start running it. So it's a lot more stable now and everything is good. So I'm going to be returning to my more officey sort of duties over the next couple of days. I'm glad,
because the stuff you were moaning about on Facebook was insane. I mean, moaning that someone walked into a board game shop asking if you had Trivial Pursuit.
No. Walking into a board game shop and shouting at me because I don't have Trivial Pursuit is very different.
Wow. I mean, we walk into a tyre place asking for tyres and they say, well, we ain't got tyres. Well, I mean, what can you do? I mean, you should have Trivial Pursuit.
You shouldn't, because it's a fucking bad game. B, go and buy it at Toys R Us. There's literally a Toys R Us the opposite side of the car park.
Oh, okay.
What business sense you have? Like, when you're working in a shop, surely you think, there's a customer, let's see what we can get out of them. Not fuck off to Toys R Us if you can. Toys R Us.
Toys R Us. Yeah, that's what they call it over here. Toys R Us. No, because so that one specific person was complaining that you guys don't have any games in here, and it's just like, I have literally $15,000 worth of stock here of games. Literally $15,000.
Yeah, but there's millions, says Jeffrey, all under one roof, and it's called Toys R Us. Toys
R Us. But no, I get to deal with some truly special people on a daily basis, and
I just don't know how you can be mad at that. I can't wrap my head around it.
Because
someone coming in and asking for Trivial Pursuit.
Because it says literally on the front door, we are
no Trivial Pursuit.
Specialist game shop. We don't sell Trivial Pursuit.
I don't believe it. I'm like Victor Meldrew over here.
Michael, do you have Monopoly?
We have one copy of Monopoly. We have a Nintendo Monopoly in stock at the minute.
Why have you got that?
Because it was left over from it's been there for 6 years.
What about like Buckaroo and stuff like that?
Yeah. What other games has he got? Let's find out. Do you have a version of Snakes and Ladders? Yes or no?
No.
Fucking hell! This is the worst board game shop ever.
Operation.
Why would I stock a copy? Why would I have Snakes and Ladders when you can get it in 3 shops within 100 meters of my shop for a quarter of the price?
Because you're a board game shop.
Yeah, okay.
You sell board games.
So they come in and it's like, oh, this is like $20. I can get this for $5 over there. It's just like, then why don't you go and get it for $5 over there?
Because they're looking for a specialist experience.
Well, can I interest you in a copy of Carcassonne? No,
there's nothing wrong with Carcassonne. It's a great game. My special experience
I was going to
is...
say, I'm glowing with pride that Dave just pulled Carcassonne out.
I know, what the fuck happened there? He's been doing research.
3 years of podcasting with you fucking nerds. That's what that was.
That's true.
Good. Okay. Well, can we draw a line under the board game chat now? Because this is
I've seen the questions. I've seen the questions, so no, we can't.
No, I'm not reading the tweets that involve board games.
Can we also not read out all the ones that involve paedophilia?
And eggs.
That's a bit of a problem because I was going to say they are pretty pedo heavy. Like,
when in Rome, Sean. When in Rome. Right. So it's been,
that's good because they actually did bomb kids. Carry on.
It's nice to be back.
Go.
I'm really glad I didn't say that, Sean.
Welcome to Hardcore History. Emphasis on the hardcore.
Bombing kids episode.
Right. Okay, let's get off
this
this subject. This is too far. This week, Rockstar have announced that they are going to make an announcement in the classic Rockstar way that they do things. There's a trailer coming, everyone. Do you know what I mean?
I hope it's table tennis too.
Can you imagine if it fucking was, though? The entire internet would go into meltdown. Nothing would happen.
No, you see, that's the thing, is everyone forgets they did this for table tennis.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking hell, there's going to be a new Rockstar game. Everyone's losing their minds. Yeah, table tennis, mate.
Damn. What do you think? I mean, when I saw it, everyone instantly thought Red Dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that's just an instant connection there. So if you don't know, this all come from what was it? An investor phone call meeting thing, conference.
And then things they have
in
businesses.
They were talking to people with money, and they were saying, "Don't worry, we are going to make more money at some point. There are a few announcements incoming." And they did say announcements and not an announcement.
Oh, did they?
So, yeah, that was what I read today. So, the rumour that we have heard, Sean, might not be the only thing.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So, just in case you get a little bit angry this week, first of all, you shouldn't, because I'm fucking well excited. But also, there's probably more coming a little bit later down the line. So, just stick with them. And let's face it, Rockstar are amazing. So whatever they do is going to be pretty special, isn't it?
Unless it's table tennis
What do we think it's going to be, though? I mean, obviously the main thrust of it is probably going to be Red Dead Redemption 2, because people have been clamouring for that for ages. But is it going to be like something? Is it going to be like an entirely new IP? Is it going to be something secret and new for Grand Theft Auto?
I don't think we're going to see anything new for Grand Theft Auto at the moment, because I think they're kind of. No, obviously not done with it.
No, you don't think that, James?
Why are you saying that?
I'm just asking. Just not think about it.
What's wrong with you?
I'm just asking your opinion, mate. I don't mind. And if you want an app bet, I'm willing. But I'll probably cut that.
What the hell was that about?
Never mind. Crack on. Honestly, don't worry. Just. So you don't think it'll be anything to do with Grand Theft Auto, right?
No, I reckon Bully.
Oh, I'd be well up for that. I'd be well up for another Bully.
I would be very interested in that.
You could buy Bully now on a PS4, can't you?
Yeah.
The problem was, I played a lot of it on the PS4, and that save is now gone. So I don't really feel like I want to go back and do that whole huge chunk of the game again.
Yeah.
But I'm tempted. Like, if there was is the 360 version one backwards compatible?
I don't think so.
No idea.
Because there was some talk about, what version should you get, the 360 version or the PS2 version. But I don't know. I mean, that will happen eventually. I don't think that that's going to happen this year. I think they're much more likely to release Red Dead Redemption. That's a sure, not release it, but announce it. That's a surefire way of getting a boatload of money. Because everyone's excited for it. So, they're definitely working on it. I'm pretty convinced that they're working on it. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it?
Wasn't there a while ago, though, there was people who had like LinkedIn stuff with like saying that they were working on a new Bully game and stuff like that. This was ages
really?
ago. Yeah,
there was something a while ago, but I think that was like 3 years ago now. And I think if that was anything more serious, then we would have heard something by now. When do you think they're going to announce something, James? How long do you think they're going to leave it?
I don't know. What do you mean? You mean like something brand new, or?
Well, whatever their next announcement is, what are you thinking?
I don't know. Are you trying to trick me here somehow?
No, I'm not. I'm just asking. I'm just asking how long you think they'll leave it before they announce something now.
Well, they'll announce that they're going to they'll probably announce that they're going to reveal, like, I reckon that they'll announce Red Dead Redemption 2 first, but then they'll say that there's going to be more stuff at E3. What?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, James, you've totally taken my position in this thing.
This is what is annoying me, because I don't know what is going on here.
Don't worry, I'll explain later. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the one thing's for sure is that any Rockstar announcement is just like they do this shit so well. Their trailers are amazing. What they show off is amazing. Sometimes maybe it doesn't live up to what they're showing. I mean, in certain cases, it absolutely does. I think Red Dead Redemption lived up. It's always the online side of things that they seem to fall apart on, if you know what I mean, or not live up to their own sort of expectations.
Online Red Dead was amazing.
It wasn't though, was it?
Yeah. Just going round as a fucking posse.
There's still tons of people playing GTA 5 online as well.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is that, okay, right, when we played Red Dead online, we had a lot of fun doing our own thing.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch the trailers for Red Dead Online, it's like a completely different game.
Okay.
You can get together and stumble across another posse and that sounds brilliant the way you're saying it, but it was literally just walking around and getting shot from a sniper rifle in some building, and you knew exactly where they were because they were indicated on the map, so it wasn't like you suddenly discovered a bunch of people and had standoffs or anything like that. It was just, that side of things really put me off. And then you had the whole, with GTA 5, it was, you can buy your own buildings and you can build an empire and blah blah, and you couldn't really it was fine. No, I think people are having a lot more fun just going around dicking about. So maybe if they piled more sort of toys to play with in that play space, then...
Did I ever tell you about Kick the Cougar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, next subject... No, God.
This is what we did playing Red Dead Redemption Online, is basically there was this hut in the woods, in the snowy bit up the mountains. And there was usually a cougar hanging around, as in the animal. That term didn't exist for older ladies attracting younger men for sex back then. Innocent times. Cougar running around, and basically we take it in turns to run out of the hut and try and kick the cougar. For some reason, if you tried to shoot the cougar, it would just go straight for you. Like the AI knew how to deal with that. But if you were trying to sprint at it and kick it, it didn't really know what to do.
Like so in real life.
Yeah, exactly. So you just run out, poof, boot it, and then run back in, because it never killed it. And then run back in the house and just take it in turns doing that. And everyone's watching through the windows,
That's what Rockstar Online is good at. The best time we had playing GTA 4 was just mucking about with the glitches on the swings.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. It was just, that's the stuff you play online for. And not really for the sort of preset stuff that they try and introduce to get people hooked. And people naturally get hooked. I mean, I fell out of love. I played a couple of the, what did they call them? The heists, the online heists. And they were fun and everything, but, everything was a little bit clunky and...
Oh, the heists are wicked, man. I mean, you need a long time, and it is a bit of a pain. It should be easy to just go right, next mission, and just keep going and going and going. But it does.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it does the whole thing where it boots you back to the world map, and then you have to fuck around setting the next mission up. And
yeah, that's the stuff that wound me up. There was, okay, you're in the building, yeah, but I'm not in the lobby. Right, okay, well then I think you've got to do this. No, run out. Okay, I'll cancel out and then we'll do it again. And there was a lot of that. And I was
it's not letting me invite you. You got to do something.
Yeah. I see what you want to do. You want to try and integrate that stuff into the online world, right? To make it seem like, hey, let's go and do this mission. We've got to drive down there to get to it. That's fine. But when it becomes more of a hindrance than actually, something that you're actually getting invested in and like losing yourself in the world, then it just falls apart and you just get wound up with it in the end. But we'll see. I think we're going to know sooner rather than later, and I can't wait to see what they're going to try and put out next. I just wonder if it'll be a standalone. Right. What have I been playing this week, Sean?
What have you been playing this week? You've been playing Uncharted 4.
I have, and I've finished it now.
Is it good?
And I've written my review, and it should be up on Spong soon. So
well,
read that.
I ain't reading it, so tell me how good it is.
Okay, it's so I spoke about it a little bit last week. It's really good, but also feels like they've pushed the game as far as could possibly be pushed without wiping and starting again with something else.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I didn't mention was the improvements they've done to companions in that game. Like, it's incredible. I can't think of a game where companions are done better. There are games where your companion feels more part of a story, if you know what I mean, as opposed to someone just following you about making little quips here and there. Like, for example, Bioshock Infinite, when you were walking around with Elizabeth, it was genuinely incredible, some of the stuff that she got up to while you were doing stuff and blah, 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 blah. But on here, it's the way it works is just so well done. The only minor gripe before I get into why I like it so much is that, do you remember in The Last of Us, there was those moments when you're in a stealth bit and Ellie would just like walk out in front of the enemies, like doo 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 doo, and the enemies would do. That happens, but very, very, very rarely. I mean, it happened once in the full 15, 16 hours it took me to complete the game. So, although when it did happen, it was a bit, oh, come on. They've obviously done a lot to avoid that happening over and over again like it does in The Last of Us. And it probably helps that it's more of an open game, Uncharted. You're in huge forests rather than tight little corridors and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, but my favourite thing it does is, I mean, you used to get this problem a lot in games where your companion would be in your way suddenly, and you're like, either can you get out of the way so I can move past, or you just magically walk through them, or they just walk off as you walk towards them, that type of thing. Here, if you're climbing up a mountain and they're hanging off a rock that you need to hang on to, they replace the rock, so you sort of just climb on their back. It just looks brilliant. It just looks really natural and works really well. It's just a nice little touch I thought was really good. They also help. There was a moment where I was hiding in a bush with Nathan Drake's brother Sam, and as an enemy walked past, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to take him out. But then Sam jumped out and took him out, and that wasn't scripted at all. They've sort of made to attack enemies if an enemy gets close to them as well. And it again, nice little touch that worked really well. If you're in the middle of a big fight, they'll tell you the direction that you're being fired at. So like sometimes like I heard a gunshot and one of the characters would go, they're behind you, Nate. And you turn around and there's an enemy there. And again, that wasn't scripted because that happens throughout the game. And there are times where it doesn't happen when you reload from a checkpoint and stuff like that. And there are bits where if it's all kicking off and you're getting a little bit overwhelmed, they will literally sneak around and jump on the back of some enemies. And once they've done that, it's a one-shot kill on the enemy because they're holding them back for you. You just pop a shot off and then that's it. They're dead. The only other thing I wanted to tell you about this week was that the ending is genuinely superb. Like, I absolutely adored the ending. There was a few people that were disappointed with certain bits of the ending, and I get that. They didn't wind me up too much, but I get that. What sticks with me the most about the ending, I mean, there's an epilogue, which is very, very well done. But what sticks with me most about the ending is, and I'm not going to ruin anything, I promise. I got a few messages about spoilers last week, and people were getting angry. But
what did we spoil?
I don't know. It wasn't you. It was me. Apparently, there was something about, I can't remember where I said fast forward 60 seconds, but I was still talking about it 60 seconds later. But it wasn't really a spoiler anyway. So I don't know. Whatever. People freak out about spoilers. I don't. I'm sorry. But yeah, on right near the end, there's a single line that one of the characters says that might as well just be Naughty Dog coming on screen and saying, I know he's talking about this, but this is us talking about Uncharted. and then that's when you go, whoa, okay, now I realise why you're finishing here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now I realise this is why this is the last Uncharted. You've spelled it out to me through this story, through this, and I get it now, and I'm happy for you to let this series go, despite the fact that I've pretty much loved all of the games in it. And I thought that was very clever. I love it when things do that. Like there was an episode of South Park that was complete. Have you ever heard about that episode of South Park, Sean, where it was Trey Parker and Matt Stone saying they're sick of South Park and they don't want to do it anymore?
No.
And it was about Carl moving house and Carl coming to the realisation that he didn't want to live in South Park anymore. So they were talking about South Park the town, but it was clearly Matt and Trey talking about South Park the cartoon and how they've outgrown it and stuff like this. And it felt like it was a very, very short moment, and I'm not even 100% sure it's intentional, but to me it felt bang on, and I was I was pretty blown away by it. I really liked that bit. Really good game. Can't recommend it enough. There are things that would have been nice if they improved it, but how much can you tweak the core game mechanics and still keep it as a Uncharted game? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's there's only so much you could do with it. But there you go. That's not the most important game I've been playing this week, though. I got a very excited text message from one James Farley.
Yes.
This week. The sequel to one of our favourite games of all time has come out, and no one knew about it, and it was already there to download, and I downloaded it immediately, and I can't believe that we're actually playing this game. There was no announcement at E3. I haven't seen any trailers or screenshots. Just all of a sudden, sequel to one of our favourite games of all time is out, and I was playing Mr. Crab 2.
Oh no!
Not joking. Yeah, it was. I'm still. I don't know. What? I really want to talk to you about this because I've been dying to talk to you about this all week since we downloaded it.
We'll tell you what. Should we set up some microphones and then record our conversation and put it on the internet, James? Should we do that?
We could do that, seeing as all week you've been telling me not to say anything until we talk about it on here.
Come on then, talk about it. What do you think?
Well, the thing is a couple of levels in, and I was hooked like straight away.
Yeah.
Did you have that problem as well?
It all comes flooding back. It was like it was made with my brain in mind, because it was like 2 or 3 levels in, because it's a free download, right? And about 2 or 3 levels in, I was like, oh my God, this is going to take over my life again. And just as I thought that, a message flashes up. Do you want all the levels? It's £5. And I was like, yes, I do want all the levels for £5. Yes, I do, Mr. Crab. So yeah, did you buy the stuff?
Straight away, before I'd even finished. I bought it straight away before I'd even finished all the levels they give you for free.
So did I. I was nowhere near the end of the levels that they got. I literally done about 2 levels, and I went, yep. I just bought it. What do you? Come on, what do you think? What do you think of it?
Okay, I still think it is really good. Still, it is really addictive. Have you finished it yet?
No, I'm about halfway through, I think, maybe 3/4.
See, the thing is after I unlocked it, I was a little bit disappointed because there's not as much content, I don't think, as in the first game yet. Like, I'm hoping they're going to add stuff later.
There wasn't a lot of content in that first game.
They kept adding new stuff though. Like after we were done with it,
after a while. But when Vanilla Mr. Crab come out, it was there was only a few levels, and they had the boss fights. There's no boss fights in this, is there?
Yeah, but Vanilla Mr. Crab wasn't like £5.
Jeez, you're making it sound like World of Warcraft. Fucking hell.
You don't know how deep this game runs in my blood. Tell us about the new stuff in it, James.
Well, it looks amazing, don't you think?
Unbelievable. Yeah. It's like proper sequel to like a much loved like sort of cult game.
So that's the thing. I went back to the original just to check, and I was like, whoa, they really have worked on this. It looks superb. The moment I loaded it up and saw the visuals, I was like, whoa, they've hit the big time. This is it. They've made it. It felt like Uncharted 2 to Uncharted. It was like they've just loaded it full of new stuff. You're no longer just climbing up one tower. Some bits you'll climb in between 2 towers and stuff like that. In parts, it reminded me of like Donkey Kong Country.
Do you know what I mean? Like they sort of, this sort of like massive like visual upgrade that it's given it. It's yeah.
Yeah, so they've added like swings and lifts and tunnels and all sorts of shit. They've clearly focused on making the little baby crabs more important this time.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole challenge of trying to find them on each level, and it's spelling it out on the main screen, like how many you're missing and stuff like that. And they're quite hidden away within the levels as well. Yeah, I think it's a huge upgrade to the previous one. And I do recommend it, like, obviously, because it's Mr. Crab, one of the best characters, legendary character, isn't he? Mm-hmm. And this is Crab with a hat on. But I do feel that it's not as precise as the original, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, also, it's not as difficult either. Like, it's really not as difficult. Like, I've nearly finished, like, the whole game with golds on every level. And this was only from playing it. And I wasn't playing it that obsessively either. Like, it wasn't as bad as it got last time, where I was like playing it at night and I had to play under the bed, like under the the duvet to stop my wife complaining. And I just kept on playing like the Temple of Boom. It wasn't like that. I've been playing it like
that's it though, James. Remember, in the original, it was just that one level that was insanely hard. The rest of the stuff was pretty straightforward. It was just that one level that drove us mental, Temple of Boom. Yeah. And without playing all the levels in the package, I don't know if there's a Temple of Boom in there yet. It might literally be the last level.
I've played all the levels.
Have you really?
Yeah, it's just I haven't got golds on every single one. Like the last ones, like right at the top, you go to different locations. I mean, it's Sicily, isn't it? Is the last one. And which I don't know why they've called it that. I suppose it's got that kind of vibe going on, but it's not really. This is why I'm hoping there's going to be some more locations. But I've played all the levels, but there's no boss fights this time around either, which is, I don't know. I'm not actually disappointed with that because I didn't really enjoy them that much from the first game.
No, I saw the merit of them. Well, sorry, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, what the fuck are they talking about? Mr. Crab was a game that we got obsessed with a couple of years ago, and it's basically a platformer on a rotating sort of cylinder, isn't it? Like a tower.
It's like the old like Nebulous game on the NES, yeah.
Yeah, so you're continuously climbing up, and to make Mr. Crab jump, you press the screen. The longer you hold down your thumb on the screen, the higher he jumps. It's as simple as that. The first one had a level on it called Temple of Boom, which was... You had to be so precise with your jumping. It was insane. And if you missed a jump, you dropped right, like you kept dropping down the tower and stuff like that. This second one... Yeah, it allows you to be less precise, doesn't it? Because Mr. Crab can now sort of catch the edge of the platform and crawl his way up. And I'm kind of like, that's cool. They've gone a bit mainstream. They've kind of thought, yeah, we're going for the mainstream audience with this one. More crabs to choose from. The vending machine where you unlock stuff.
Yeah, you get like stars, hats and stuff, for your crab.
yeah. I don't know. I still really enjoy it, but if you were to tell me that, like, I can't say I hate it because I don't. I still love it. But if you were to tell me you prefer the original, I wouldn't argue with you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping there's going to be more content because, like I said, I finished it pretty quickly, and and it just, I don't know, it just feels like it needs more, especially some more. The last sort of 7 or 8 like levels are quite difficult. But they're not difficult in the same way as the Temple of Boom were, as in, it's one of those things where you just think, okay, I just need to sit here for long enough, and I'll be able to do this. It's not so much like, the Temple of Boom, which was just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do this, because it's just ridiculous.
So, Illusion Labs are the guys that make it, and if you're listening to this, then that's your challenge. Come up with a new Temple of Boom, and see if we can do it. Do you know what I mean?
It's still brilliant, though, isn't it? It's
still brilliant. I love Mr. Crab. It's such a good video game. I had a big grin on my face when I saw how much effort and work they've put into making it feel like a proper sequel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? As opposed to just Mr. Crab with new levels, which I would have loved anyway. But all this extra new stuff and the new graphics and everything, I don't know. I just love it.
I was really pleased they didn't do the whole free-to-play thing either, as in collect these gems to unlock more levels and stuff like that.
There is a bit of that, isn't there?
No, it's nothing like that. It's just basically give us a $5 and then you do that, and then you get everything.
But isn't can't you? Oh, that's it. Yeah, no. You collect stars throughout the levels, and if you collect 500, you can use the vending machine to get like a free gift, like a new character or a hat or something.
Yeah.
And you can also earn something out of the vending machine by watching promotional videos.
Yeah.
That's about as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
Which I don't even find bad, to be honest with you. I do it all the time on my poker game, so just to get free coins and stuff. Yeah, get it. Get Mr. Crab 2. Get Mr. Crab 1. Test yourself with Temple of Boom. Then get Mr. Crab 2. The Mr. Crab collection. Get that.
I'm hoping there's going to be a third one to round out the trilogy, you know?
Yeah, I know. I do want to know what happens to Mr. You know there's loads of new characters to play as. Do you just keep going back to Mr. Crab?
No, yeah, I tried some of the others, but some of them are really annoying. Like the sounds they make aren't that good, and they don't look as good.
Oh my god, I haven't had the sound on yet.
Really?
Once. What's the music like?
You've got to hear the music. I mean, the music's like it's not that great, but it really does drill into your
Should
head.
we discover it together?
Yeah,
let's have a. Right, that's the menu. Should I just start a level?
Yeah, go on.
That is a shameless rip-off of Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid.
That sounds nothing like Under the Sea by Little Mermaid. Right?
Yes, it does.
Right, let's hear it. Yes. Oh my god, that would drive me mental.
Yeah.
Right, imagine this music as you're continuously falling down to the bottom of the tower that you spent hours trying to climb. Oh god, I can already feel myself throwing the phone at the wall. Mr. Crab, get it. Then get Mr. Crab 2. Right. Is that all you've been playing, Sean? James, whatever your name is.
I've finished. No, I've been playing a bit more Doom, but yeah, I'm close to the end, I think. But yeah, it's brilliant still.
Yeah,
because you've been playing Doom as well, haven't you, Sean? Yeah, you were both talking about it last week. Mm-hmm. Have you finished it yet?
I am very close. I think I am at the final bit.
I'm hearing from people who have finished it that it is really, really good at the end.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth sticking to the end. They said that it dips a little bit in the final few levels. I mean, I've not played it, so I plan to play it at some point, but that it dips a little bit later into the game, but then just comes back really strong at the end.
Pretty much. Like, the last few bits I've done have just been fucking amazing. Just unbelievably good fun. Like, quite hard, but not enough to, like, you know, like, you'll die if you do something stupid. But mostly it's just sprinting around, laughing and shooting things and pulling their heads off and stuff.
I mean, when you say, it gets, like, quite fun, so what sort of stuff does it do to make it fun? I mean, because it's not like story-based or anything, so...
It's all in the feeling. It's, you know...
It's just the fucking rush of it, like, just constantly sprinting around, just like you just feel like absolutely fucking wired, like when you're doing these fights, like you constantly managing, constantly making like all these split-second decisions about which weapon to use in which situation and what enemies are where and what's the best way of dealing with them and what items are lying around, and like you've got like so those sort of executions that you can do, they get you health, so you're sort of looking at ways to stagger enemies so that you can pull them off if you're running low on health, or if you're running low on ammo, then you can pull the chainsaw out, because if you get a chainsaw kill, then that drops shitloads of ammo. And it's just this constant management of everything that's going on and trying to sort of take everything in, and sort of on the one hand, you're sort of trying to think tactically whilst also just running around screaming, pulling the trigger. And it's just so, like, it's so much fun. It's ridiculous.
Have you tried much of the multiplayer yet?
I have tried a bit. It's a good laugh. I don't think it's going to get a look in with Overwatch about to come out. I think a lot of people are probably going to finish the campaign and then bin it off for Overwatch, which is a shame, because I think the multiplayer is very good. Like, it's still, it has the feel of it is identical to the single player. But, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, it's got your unlocks and stuff. Like, I think they've resisted the temptation to just make it like a pure sort of Doom style shooter, where it's just, look, the weapons are in the map and you have to run around and find them, and you all play as the same character. It is like, you can customize your guy and you have loadouts and stuff like that, which is fine. I'm alright with that.
Still don't know whether to get Overwatch or not.
Oh, mate, it's going to be so good.
I was properly not convinced by the beta though. Like, no, but then everyone says it's amazing, so I kind of think, am I being a div?
Come on, man. Even I played it, and I fucking had a ball with it.
There you go.
Yeah, but your taste is disgusting.
This is true. It's very true.
I mean, you know, the My Little Pony shit. So is that it? Have you played anything else, Sean?
I finished Dark Souls 3.
Oh yeah, how did you find it?
Really good. Final
very good
boss,
video game, isn't
it? It's a very good computer game.
That's the one.
It's the final boss. It does the whole, like, a lot of the bosses in this game have 2 phases.
Mm-hmm.
Not really for any obvious reason. But yeah, the final boss does that. And it is, again, it's just a very good shut up and learn the moves fight, which is what Dark Souls has always done best. And it doesn't, like, because there are a couple of gimmicky fights in Dark Souls 3 where it's like there's a trick to doing it. But yeah, it is just a superb little duel. And yeah, once you twig who that final boss is as well, it is a very smart thing for them to
have you started like looking up all the lore stuff then?
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of been doing that as I go, because I'm not, like, the idea of me going, like, doing an entire playthrough of a Dark Souls game and seeing and understanding everything is fucking nil. So I'm happy to just read stuff as I go. And I'm not worried about anything being spoiled. Which meant, you know, I could get the ending I wanted first time without having to, you know, do an entire second playthrough or what have you. I mean, I know, like, some people are like, no, I want to earn the endings myself. It's like, mate, they're basically, the difference between most of them is like a button press at the end. And all you get is a different cutscene, and then it's back to the start. So just get the ending you want, and then look up the others on YouTube.
Sean, how long was your save in the end? Because I'm about 32 hours in.
Okay, I was 45, I think. Okay. I've not done all of the... there's one extra area that I have not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I gather that is her home to the most difficult boss in the game, which I ain't done yet. But I'm going to do that before I put it to bed. You can, for those curious, once you do the final boss, you don't have to go straight into your second playthrough. It does let you just cut about doing whatever until
that's good. I like that.
Yeah, and it's smart because it means, like, I can just stick me, Blades of the Dark Moon Covenant on and go around helping people as well.
Who's the hardest boss in the game?
Are we worried about spoiling? Actually, I can't remember his fucking name, so I can't spoil it.
Should we be? Should we still be worried about that?
Some people.
I'm so out of touch with spoilers now, it's unreal. I saw people going mental on Twitter today. Oh, you're spoiling things. It's just like, oh, come on now. You can't spend your... I mean, I dislike spoilers. I don't want people to just come along and say, just blurt out things at me, like the ending and stuff.
It's a weird one. I mean, when it comes to Dark Souls, it's more environmental spoilers that you want to watch out for, isn't it? Like if someone had shown me Irithel before I got there.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been a shame.
You're absolutely right.
Whereas if someone had told me, oh, the final boss is a guy with a sword. Oh, no! But, it's fucking...
No, you're absolutely right. If I'd have seen that image of Ifril and what Video Gamer showed me was very, very disappointing to see about an area later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got there, I was like, oh, I don't feel as blown away as I probably should be at this point.
I actually saw a massive location spoiler when I was just looking up. I'd just joined the Blue Sentinels Covenant. And I was like, right, I'm earning these items, but I've no idea where to cash them in. And then, basically looked it up on a wiki. It's like, oh, yeah, the representative for this faction is located in... And it's... It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But in all honesty, did that detract from your enjoyment of the game in any way, shape or form?
It's hard to tell, isn't it? And this is the thing with spoilers. It's like, it's easy to be like, oh, well, I played / watched the thing knowing what was going to happen and actually still really enjoyed it. But you can never rewind time and see which way you would have enjoyed it more.
I would have been more blown away if I walked into that area without knowing.
Yeah.
I would have been more excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think it detracts from the experience. Mm-hmm. So maybe I shouldn't moan about people spoiling things because, yeah. Oh well. But it's just hard to talk about certain games and stuff. Like, I wanted to talk about Beginner's Guide at some point because we haven't spoken about that.
We said we'd do a special on that, didn't we? And that never happened.
It never happened.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, if you want to know my opinions on Beginner's Guide, I think it tried to force the point home too hard. but yeah, I mean that's almost impossible to talk about without spoiling big chunks of it.
Yeah. Just the very concept of it is spoilable.
Although I knew the concept of it going in, and I don't think that affected my enjoyment.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, it probably helped it because I wasn't so jarred.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, you say that, but then there are films that, like, say a film that's got like a tense bit or just something where something shitty happens to the main character, and once you've seen the film once, you know everything resolves. Then seeing it the second time, it's like, oh, this isn't stressing me out because I know everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's mainly like like shit comedy films where they have to do that arc where everything starts out okay and then gets really bad, and then the main character has some sort of realization and sorts their life out.
Yeah.
Every comedy film. So yeah.
Oh, look, it's a romantic comedy where they're arguing again at this bit. Yeah. Oh no, the relationship's definitely over until the end. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. Bit cliche, but there you go. Right, okay, is that it for this week?
Yeah.
Good. Michael, what have you been playing?
Well,
I mean, we all know because you keep fucking recording everything and putting it on the internet.
Yep.
But please
one
tell
of them
people
now.
that don't follow your life.
So yeah, Dark Souls 3, which I'm not recording and putting on the internet because that would be a shameful experience for everybody involved. How fucking long have I been playing Dark Souls / Demon Souls games? I'm still fucking wretched at them. The answer is a long time. But other stuff, obviously I played the Overwatch beta and had a lot of good times with that. I'll be picking that up. There's a midnight opening at a store just around the corner from me, so I'll be picking it up there later today. That'd be fun.
Cool.
I'm probably going to get about 2 hours of playing it because I've got to go to a convention tomorrow, so I'll be away for a week.
What's the convention for?
It's a trade show, board games trade show. So that'll be
Dave,
fun.
stop setting traps. Stop hoping that it was going to be BronyCon.
You have been to a Brony convention, haven't you, Michael?
I have not. No, I have had. I've been invited to PhillyCon, which is in Philadelphia. But see, Philadelphia, see, yeah. But I am not able to go to it because of prior commitments, unfortunately. But hey, I'm going to, and fuck you anyway, Dave. So there you go.
Suit life accent.
Games wise, so yeah, there's been an awful lot of Japanese dating sims and visual novels in my recent history. And
Mike, why would you do this to yourself? Dave's gonna fucking murder you now.
I don't care anymore. He's too far away from me. He's too far away for me to hurt, for me to be hurt anymore. It's fine. That's why I left. One of the main reasons. So yeah, basically, Steph, my wife, said, I would really like to start just playing games with you and we can record them and put on YouTube. And who am I to say no to my beloved wife? So I said, all right, what are we going to play? And holy Christ, that was a door that was opened. So far I have played stuff like Panzermädels, which is a game where you are trying to date tanks that have taken human form. It's very weird. The last one we put up that's currently on the channel, which is Little Metal Television, by the way, on YouTube, is one called the Men of Yoshiwara. And it's got everything. It's got an empty, vacuous lead character. It's got potential sex with siblings. It's got bad writing.
Why are you playing this stuff?
Because I didn't know that this is where it was going to go. But it's just like,
bollocks.
Holy crap.
Right there on the box.
There's no box. It's on Steam. Oh yeah, I do Steam games now, by the way. That's the thing. Playing games on a computer. On a computer game show. There you go.
It's alright, isn't it?
That works. So yeah, there's most of these are pretty bad because they're written by amateur teams, often like maybe one or two people. But sometimes there is sort of like a shining gem that sort of has a bit of humor and fun about it. So apparently I'm yet to find one. We'll see how those go in future plays, but there must be something.
So
out
what
there
what are you looking for in terms, like, to make it a good Japanese dating sim?
To be honest, something with a fun and interesting story is. I mean, that's what most of us want from any game that we play. You know, a fun and interesting experience. What interests me the most about it is seeing what can be created by a very, very small team. What sort of experience can be created by a very small team? And a lot of the time, it's genuinely pretty mediocre. Sometimes it's downright fucking bad. We tried, starting a new one yesterday, and 20 minutes in, it was just, oh my god, this is just the worst fucking thing. It was called like the sad story of Emmeline Burns or something like that. And it's like, oh, I'm such a sad goth girl. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, Christ almighty. Even I could not put myself through that. And I've played some bad games recently.
So wait, hold on. So give us an example of a good one and why it's good.
Okay. So, Panzermädels was a good one. It was fun. It was silly. It was self-referential. It was very, very stupid. My only annoyed aspect about it was the fact that the game literally has no happy endings whatsoever. We discovered after playing through it once, then going back to a save and going back through a couple of different endings, there is literally no way to get a happy ending. You always die in this game. And it was just funny and daft and an interesting and fun way of just spending time, you know, dicking around with my wife, which was a lot of fun. The Men of Yoshiwara, which we're currently putting the videos up, there's like 2 or 3 left, at the moment, is, oh my god, please for the love of God learn how to write, because you're doing very, very, very badly here. And I say the Japanese dating sims most of the time, they're just sort of in that style. They're written by Western developers or Western teams, and just trying to emulate like this style of game that's been around in Japan for decades.
But what's the style? What I mean,
basically,
because the videos that I've seen, it kind of looks like a sort of a Phoenix Wright type thing.
Yeah, think of it as sort of like a sort of like a stripped back Phoenix Wright kind of thing. You don't have to go off and find clues. You don't have to, search out to try and solve the mystery. Basically, it's about putting yourself in the character that you are playing. Most of the time, they are this sort of empty vessel kind of character, and making decisions and seeing where the story leads you. It's like a choose your own adventure book or a fighting fantasy book, that kind of thing, but with more, brother fucking, as it were.
Jesus Christ. Aren't they just horrendously sexist as well, these things?
It depends what you play. A couple of them that I've played have been very, very bad, from a sexism point of view. But it swings both ways, for want of a better way of putting that point. There are games that cater to a male audience. There are games that cater to a female audience, and vice versa. There are games that cater to literally any audience you can think. There are games out there. Fuck, like I said, there's a game about banging tanks. What the hell?
Come on, Michael.
It's a very
tell us
weird
about your
experience.
experience of playing Rate Play.
I have not done
Jesus
that.
fucking Christ.
I have not played that. I'm not going anywhere fucking near that. No way. And I'm horrified that you even know about it, James. And you a father. But no, it's proving very interesting because it's stuff like, I've never played stuff like this before, and I'm trying to open myself up to play as many different things as I can find. And as a very, very,
or are you just trying to pick something that's a bit different?
No, in all honesty, it's as a very, very late adopter of Steam. because simply it's only now that I have a computer that can actually run fucking decent Steam stuff. And now I'm using it to run freaking visual novels. Christ. I just like pottering around and finding weird and curious things and seeing what's out there. I mean, there's another game I'm playing which is completely and utterly different called Flame in the Flood. And it's absolutely lovely. Like, we sat down and played it for like 3 hours yesterday, and it's something I probably would have never have had the experience had the option really to play aside from the fact that Steph saw it, she liked the look of it and says, all right, we're going to give that a go. And it's just that immediacy of, all right, we see it on Steam. Okay. How much is it? Well, $10, whatever. Download it. Away you go. It's wonderful. And if I could go back in time and kick Michael's ass from 10 years ago and say, buy yourself a decent computer and get Steam as soon as possible, because there's loads and loads of good stuff on there. There's lots of terrible stuff on there as well, of course, but it's very, very lovely indeed.
Sean, you like this sort of bollocks, don't you?
Not the visual novel stuff, no.
No?
See,
what was the York then, or whatever it's called?
Oh, that's
Here
different.
Comes the York.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Here comes the York.
What is it called? Everybody loves
It's
York.
called the York. No, the York's very good, but no, I'm not into the dating sim scene.
Why not? Because you've already mastered it.
Yeah, mate, I've mastered it, moved on.
That's it, leveled up by marrying. There you go.
Sean writes the dating sims, he doesn't play them.
No, no, I mean, I know it doesn't really count. I was going to say I keep meaning to play Her Story. I've got that bought for ages.
Oh my god, you've not played Her Story?
Yeah, no, I had to. That was why I had to stop listening to Dark Calls for ages, because I could just skip the bit about Her Story. But I actually do want to play it and then listen to what you guys had to say about it. And then about 2 months later, I was like, no, I'm just going to skip it.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing?
Sitting here recording this shit.
Good point.
Wasted
yeah, you
time.
should definitely play Her Story. That's like a one sitting type game. You could do that in no time.
I know. I made do get it for iPad as well, and she's still not played it either. They're fucking useless.
Oh, that'd be perfect, man. Next time you go to bed, just whack some headphones in and just start it up.
Yeah, I might.
I guarantee within, like, on the iPad. Oh, mate.
They never did.
You've got to do that.
I know you're gonna laugh. They never did an Android version, did they? I say there. You mean
I don't know actually. Did they? It came out on a lot of formats, didn't it? I don't know if it did.
I think it was just PC
Android.
and iPad. But
if you've got it on iPad anyway, then just get an iPad. Like, just play it on the iPad.
So there is an app. On Android, there is an app called Her Story. It says it's an application for story lover special for girls who love to read new stories.
There we go. Are you a girl that loves to read new stories, Sean?
In this app, a very large collection of short stories written by many user and express his or her feelings in simple words. User can read or write a story in this app and also get likes, and can create her favourite story list with social sign-in, and user can search the story easily. Download the app and enjoy your reading experience. This is the one, yeah? The one that won the BAFTA, yeah?
That's it. That's it exactly.
That's the one. Can you download that now, please?
What, and have a go?
No, just let me see if there are actually any stories on there. I can't imagine. I can't imagine what's on there.
Installing now.
Good.
Fuck's sake.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that noise? I heard that. There was a strange noise.
I don't know. Probably somebody outside.
Are those people you're keeping in the basement there, mate? It sounds like there's someone trying to get out of your house.
Okay, I've just opened it up and it's crashed immediately.
Excellent.
Quality product.
And it's probably installed some sort of virus on your phone as well. There we go. Courtesy of the Computer Game Show. Good, that's what we've been playing this week. I don't know what to move on to next. I might just go back to Rainbow Six Siege because the new content come out, so I'm going to try that out. But should we go to questions?
Yeah.
Let's do it. We got quite a few this week, haven't we, James?
We have, yeah, but as I said, they're a bit like paedophile heavy. I mean, what do we do with those?
I wonder why.
Have you checked the emails and everything, yeah?
No. There's
brilliant.
Matt isn't here. We never get emails anyway. It's fine.
We got like 4 emails this week.
Did we?
We're gonna check the emails in like a couple of days, and it'll be like, please read out this message, or my son will be murdered.
Took a dark turn there, Sean.
Ian emailed in and said, "Hi guys, how about Matt playing through the Halo collection? Or why not play through some games that weren't originally that we received, when released? Something like Dishonored, which I loved on the 360, played through again on the remastered edition on the Xbox One. I forgot about that. I forgot that came out, that they remastered it for the Xbox One.
Also, Dishonored wasn't badly received at all. I got a lot of very good reviews.
No, he didn't say badly received. He says, or why not play through some games that weren't originally that we received when released?
I'm assuming he's going to say weren't originally that well received.
Dishonored was, that was raved about. That was really good. I totally forgot that had been remastered. Did anyone see anything about that? Whether it was any good, like if it was a decent remaster or not?
No?
Good. But many people seem to pick up. Loving the show. Keep up the good work. Cheers. I know Matt's played through Halo. Most of them anyway. So probably not the best game to stream if he already plays them. He also asks, because sent in a second email from Ian here. Hi guys, why do you think superhero games always fall short? Okay, Batman Arkham games have been classed, but Batman really just hits people a lot and doesn't have proper superpowers. I remember there was a bunch of superhero titles on the last gen consoles that were tie-ins for movies. That's always a bad sign, but they fell short. I personally like the old Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, but they seem to have died a death last generation. What do you think? I mean, I'm not a massive superhero guy, but I gather that because they're superheroes, the people that pump the money into these games think, well, they're superheroes and we want to capture both the adult market and the children market, the child market. And in doing so, they slowly realise that the development team they've hired aren't Nintendo. And that designing games for both adults and children at the same time is a pretty good, pretty hard skill. Do you know what I mean?
It was like when that Wolverine game came out, and it was like around the same time as I think it was just X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, the film famously did not have a single bit of blood in it, despite being a Wolverine film, because they really wanted it to be a PG or whatever. Do you still have PGs?
PG films, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea, man. And yet the game was absolutely gross. It was apparently really good, but it was unbelievably violent and got an 18 rating and didn't really sell very well. So yeah, that's what happens when there's a schism there. Because it wasn't this a game where basically as you took damage, Wolverine visibly got blown apart and then sort of slowly healed, and he could you could become like a fucking skeleton, and you're still just walking around slashing people,
just hollowing.
Yeah, basically, and then just his meat all starts forming over him again. Apparently, it was really good.
There was also that Batman, the cartoon Batman game on the Wii that Chet forced me to play. That was really good. It was like a side-scrolling platformer with lots of other bits to do. So there have been some decent ones, but I know what you're saying. There's been I can't believe they've not been able to make a decent Spider-Man or Superman game.
Well, hold on. There's been good Spider-Man games.
There have been. Yeah, back on the PS1, there were a couple of decent ones.
What was the one on the PS2? Was it Spider-Man 2? Everyone swears by that. Really interesting web slinging where it's really sort of freeform and weird, and you could just die a lot, but it made it really satisfying just cutting about the city.
All right. I don't know. I'm so not part of that world. It's it's why I don't go to the cinema anywhere near as much as I used to these days, because it is just bombarded with superhero films. And okay, if you like them, and then fair play to you. I'm not saying they're rubbish films. I've got very, very little interest in that subject matter. So when it comes out and it's oh no, this one's got loads of them in it, I'm like, I don't care. I want the rise of gangster films again, because I miss those. Goodfellas, Casino, shit like that. I just want, horrible death all over of people sleeping with the fishes. See, stuff like that. Get that back. Bring that back, Hollywood, if you're listening.
Meanwhile, in America, Hollywood. It's cut to Hollywood. Ah, see? That David Turner. He knows what he's talking about, see?
A dummy gun. This next one's from FBoa01, or Luke Boardman, as he's more known
as his real name.
I don't know where that name's come from. Hey jabronis, I've already asked this question, but I think it must have been answered on the Lost episode, so I'll be selfish and ask it again. And you did, Luke, you asked this on the Lost episode. When asked what games you're looking forward to, none of you said No Man's Sky. Was this because it had all slipped your minds, or are you on the hype train? Are you slightly apprehensive? I think we come to the conclusion that we genuinely do not know enough about it, and the stuff we've heard has been the same thing over and over again. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, but you can go anywhere and name things. Right, okay, that sounds really good. Oh, do you know in this game you can go anywhere and name things? Gotcha, right, gotcha. Tell us about the game. You can go anywhere and name things. We know that bit, right? Tell us what you actually do. No.
I mean, it's only 4 weeks until it's released, isn't it? The information has to start leaking out sometime fucking soon about it, apart from flying around and naming things.
But can you honestly say you're genuinely excited for it?
I'm intrigued by it.
I'm sure they have done videos where they explain what the actual point of the game is, what you have to actually do.
The aim of the game is to get to the center of the universe. That's it.
Yeah. But I've sort of not been watching those because
I think maybe that's. I think that's it, isn't it? They've explained them, a lot. They've explained mechanics of the game and what you're supposed to do. They haven't explained why that's fun.
Right. Yeah.
That's the bit of information that's missing. Why is this fun? Like when they show Uncharted, it's like, this is fun because shit's blowing up and you're driving everywhere and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Things like The Witness. This game is fun because there's this whole mystery about what you're doing, and, you might find out what the deal is behind this island. Things like that. When we're shown games, there's a reason why why you should be playing this. With No Man's Sky, we've not seen that side of it. We don't understand why this is fun to play. Because if it is literally flying into the air, going to a planet, naming something, flying into the air, going to another planet, naming something, I don't know why that will hold my attention for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that just sounds like, space Minecraft, essentially, without making stuff.
There's got to be more to it.
Yeah, there's got to be more to it. But even if it is just a bit more, even if it is just essentially an explore 'em up, and with a little bit of crafting, upgrading your ship, getting involved in, if you can sort of team up with people and then sort of split up on your own, if you can sort of like get involved in sort of like epic battles. Basically, I want a sort of like a more chilled out version of EVE Online. And if it's even approaching that to me sounds like an ideal game. Just to, you play Overwatch for a couple of hours and you're just feeling hyped and your brain's fucking wired. You just want something to I'm going to fly around a few planets for a bit. I'm going to go look for some weird animals and name some weird species. It seems like the perfect antidote to full on 200 miles an hour in the wrong lane, balls to the wall action. And if it gives us that, I see it being a massive success. However, with 4 weeks left before release, nobody really knows much more than, as you said, Dave, it's fly about a bit, name some stuff, get to the center of the universe.
There's got to be more to it. There's got to be something there that we don't know about yet. Because right now, I'm impressed with what they've done. I don't want to play it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, like I say, I think that information's out there. I think none of us have just watched any of the videos, because I'm sure that I've definitely seen videos where they're like, right, this is what you will actually be doing in No Man's Sky. So I think that stuff is around.
But if that's the case, then that's worrying, because I haven't seen. Usually, when something like that comes out and it's like, oh, that's what the game's about, it's all over Twitter and people talk about it. I haven't seen anyone talking about No Man's Sky.
Mm.
And I follow like a lot of people that write about games and a lot of people that are, fans of the industry and stuff like that. I've not seen a lot of chatter about it at all. And that just worries me a bit. I don't know. It's certainly not at the top of the list of things that I really want to play this year. And in fact, actually, there's not a lot on that list at this point now, because we're just before E3 and we're all still waiting for what's going to be announced. Still don't know if they promised us last year that we'd see The Last Guardian this year.
I don't even know how arsed I am about that. I was laughing the other day because it was, on Facebook's On This Day bollocks. It came up with like, oh yeah, basically it was 7 years ago where they showed like the very first footage of it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
And there's me going, right, I'm getting a PS3.
Sean, if they show the game and say it's coming out at the end of the year, you'll instantly be interested. I think it's just lack of faith whether it's ever going to come out.
It's just interesting because things have shifted a lot since, Eco came out. Eco happened and it was like, guys, it's this game that's got emotions in it. Can you imagine? And that's just nowhere near as rare a commodity as it was back then.
Yeah, but then I played Shadow of the Colossus quite recently, like a couple of years ago, and it still held up in a world where the medium has pushed emotional connection to the player and really focused on refining that and getting it right. That still held up as a very emotional and an amazing game. So, it's hard to tell, but let's face it, those two games did enough to convince me that I'm going to play that next game. I just don't know whether it'll, live up to the hype, and that probably won't. Bit of a long one. This is from Thomas Whitnell. First, welcome back. While I do enjoy many other podcasts that seem to be in your unofficial family, Midnight Resistance, they're not. Kane and Rince, definitely not. Toku? What's that?
Oh, David.
Oh, is that bad? Who's Toku?
That's Holly Nielsen and Kate Gray.
Oh.
You'd probably hate
Holly
it,
Nielsen.
to be honest, so don't worry about it.
Why would I hate it? What's wrong with it?
Just give it a listen. I dip in and out. But because I really like Holly and Kate, but they talk about the X-Files a lot and it's sort of lost on me. But
I see, because I don't know Holly, but I know, Kate's funny, so maybe I'll give that a listen.
Yeah, you should.
There has been space on my weekly queue since Joypod euthanized. I don't know if it was euthanized. Is that the right way of describing it?
Sort of shuffled off.
Just melted. I would go with. Have James and Matt found new respect for the egg now that David seems to be turning his bike on them? James?
No.
Good to be back. Good to be back. Also, turning his bike on them?
I don't know. I quite like that phrase. And he says even though he does seem to have calmed down, given how easily James seems to bite, it makes you realise that Michael either had a lot of patience or just didn't listen to his own show while recording. Definitely the latter.
I was on an awful lot of morphine in those last months, so...
So yeah, it's like a band, like a rock band where one of them's got addicted to drugs. Serious question. The company I work for have bought a new social media policy, meaning that I could be sacked for not only what I post on social media, but also what others tag me in. That seems insane. I've never had Twitter, and I'm in the process of removing myself from Facebook. Do any of you guys ever worry about what gets posted about you online in regards to either what your work will think or what your kids will think one day when they look you up? Lastly, Sean, I feel your pain about buying a house. You don't realise how much money you can't spend when trying to stick it to the baby boomers. All right, chill out. I'm a baby boomer, right? I think.
No, we're fucking millennials, mate.
I'm not a millennial.
Boomer?
I'm not a millennial.
Are you not? Have you just evaded that?
I just evaded it and just managed to stick into Generation X. Just about.
Okay. So baby boomers is our parents. Basically.
Yeah, baby boomers are like our mums and dads.
Who, despite what they will tell you, had it relatively easy compared to us.
That's it. Would you like to buy a house? Certainly. That's 15 grand. Of that same house now worth 1.6 million. Okay, thanks.
Would you like to buy several more houses and, just do that?
My wife has pretty much vetoed anything that isn't food from Aldi. I recommend going through your Steam account for games bought in sales you have never played. I've been enjoying Transistor, Bastion, Shadow of Mordor, and Blood Dragon. That's a little bit of that's from Soggy Dog. They've signed Soggy Dog, but
that's
I've
a
already
good shout.
said
Like, I'm basically not buying games
that
anymore, ever.
Oh, wait till you have a kid, mate. But yeah, no, going back to the original point, do you worry about what you put on Twitter, Sean?
No, I am getting increasingly aware of the fact that, like, if you search for my name, like, I used to be well and truly buried by the fact that a guy with my name was unlawfully shot by the police in America. But my rise to fame is such that I think I'm on the first page if you search for Sean Bell. Like, my Twitter account is on there. So when people start talking about Twitter at work, and I sort of want to say that I use it, and then I think it only takes one of them 2 seconds to go like, Google Sean Bell Twitter. Oh, what the fuck is this? But I also don't want to lock my account down, because that's a really boring way of doing Twitter, because then you can't talk to people you don't know. That said, I fucking hate people I don't already know. So maybe that's the way forward. But generally speaking, no, I don't worry too much.
Yeah, I don't worry at all. But I know that I'm on borrowed time. Like, my company is quite an old school company. It's a very old school. Not the company, sorry. The industry I work in is very old school. It's full of older people with older views, and I don't want any of that Twitter nonsense. You know, that sort of attitude. But I know one day someone's going to look me up on Twitter and go, David, shut the fuck up. You can't go around saying the C word all the time. And then I'll be asked to stop. So if you suddenly see me stop tweeting, that'll be that.
Yeah, we'll know why.
I think, like, it's sort of... I mean, I try not to tweet anything anyway that I couldn't somehow back up in person. But then obviously everyone on Twitter sort of gets into this territory where it's sort of 70% factual and then sort of 30% totally OTT for the sake of comedy. Yeah, exactly. So it'd be like, you know, those bits in Stuart Lee's comedy vehicle where he's being interviewed by Chris Morris. That'll be me justifying my Twitter account to my work colleagues.
Yeah, I fear the day that I get pulled into the office and they just start reading some of the tweets that I put out. Scary times. James, you kind of have to do lockdowns, don't you, really?
Well, not really. I mean, it's not at the moment. It's like, I mean, I don't really worry too much about it because I don't really tweet that much. I use it mostly just for reading other people's stuff. I don't really write that much, so...
should we go through the tweets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one we got
Fucking hell, James.
What?
I love you. Go on.
Okay.
There's always, whenever I say, come on, let's do the tweets, there's always a big pause where everyone's waiting for you to talk. It's like your brain suddenly goes, shit, I'm on.
He's no Matt Murray.
I have to bring it up onto the screen, don't I? It's
you're like the person that sung the national anthem at the FA Cup.
That was pretty funny.
That was funny. This went, Sean, you wouldn't have watched the FA Cup, would you? Because, you know, Sean. Imagine waiting your whole life to do the biggest performance on the biggest game of the season and then just completely missing your cue.
Did she literally just blank? Then she just didn't do...
Well, by the looks of it, she couldn't hear the music, but when the whole stadium was singing, maybe she should have thought, oh, right, okay. Maybe I should start singing now, but she didn't. The camera was on her and she just stood there looking. It was just bizarre.
She looked like she was like listening to her earpiece for 1 second. And you're just thinking they're going, sing, like at her.
Yeah, she got about a line in at the end.
The
Save
Queen.
Yeah. Right, okay, go on.
Okay, so the Sonic Mole says, does Michael think that the Dark Souls board game will be any good, or is it a case of style of substance?
Games,
this is the only board game question I'm asking. Okay, so
one too many.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, so
I know nothing about this, so I'm intrigued.
All right, so it's been made by a bunch of folks called Steamforge Gaming, who are based in Stockport, just outside Manchester.
You're kidding?
They are very, very on the ball. This is only their second project, but their previous one is an excellent minis game, sort of a medieval football style game called Guild Ball. They know how to make a very, very good game. And the early reports from various conventions and shows were that the people who played the Dark Souls board game were very impressed by it. It gives you lots of options, lets you go, take many, many different approaches to try and take down you basically set up a scenario and then you try and beat the scenario. The campaign on Kickstarter was ludicrously successful. They made £3.7 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Considering Guild Ball made, I think, maybe 500,000. This is a massive step up for them. The only thing is, it's going to take a long time for the game to be actually produced. They reckon it's going to be between sort of 12 and 15 months before the Kickstarter backers get their copies, and then it'll go into distribution. But, I have a lot of faith in it. They're very on the ball. They know what they're doing. And now that they've got all this money, they're able to sort of take some time, make sure that the game is absolutely perfect. And then when it gets released, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a wild success.
Cool. Have they said sort of mechanically?
There is nothing less cool than that, Sean.
It's got shades on and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, mate.
Deal with it.
Any words on like how it's going to what are the mechanics involved and stuff? Have they given any of that away, or is it?
Yeah. People have actually sat down and played scenarios at war game shows over in the UK.
Okay.
You can level up your character by collecting souls. You collect different equipment and boost up that way. A lot of it is card and dice driven, it looks like. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of randomness, but you can mitigate the randomness through card play. And positioning is quite important in the game as well. So, generally there's lots of, sort of trash for you to try and work through first, and then you work your way through to a big boss, which are the models are amazingly good. The minis are fantastic, and it's based on, characters that are taken from all three of the Souls games. So it's going to be absolutely massive.
Cool.
We'll see. All right, next.
Okay, Scientologist. Which forgotten gem of last gen would you like to see get an HD remake or backwards compatibility to breathe new life into it?
Well, Sean, you've always said the Skate series needs to get into backwards
please.
Compatible.
I'd be up for
not
that.
like you play. You haven't got Xbox One, but...
I'd rather just have a new one, to be honest.
Does SSX Tricky count? They said last gen, didn't they? Could you imagine a proper remaster of that? I'd love that. New graphics and hair and that. Sean, would you grow back your ginger afro?
I don't think I could, mate. It's all thin on top now.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry. That's
so sad.
Dave, do you wish you were thin?
Yeah, you're going to get Finn for when you just say, yeah. Fair play. Fair comment. I don't know. Burnout Paradise would be nice, but that's never going to come back.
No.
Haven't the developers said that Burnout is dead and it's never going to come back?
Have they?
That's a bit sad.
What a horrible story
what
that was.
Criterion even do now?
Criterion are working on a new game called Dangerous Golf.
No. That's
or is that guys who used to work for Criterion?
Yeah, that's the guys that used to work for Criterion.
Okay.
No, they do the odd Need for Speed game, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh, well, never mind. Sorry, lads.
Yeah. Can't really think of anything else. I mean, there are a few games I do want to be made backwards compatible, but I'm trying to think of what they are.
Do you remember a game called Pain on the, I think it was PS3?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to see
the
that.
one where you catapult?
Yeah, you catapult people into the thing and just destroy the environments.
That was rubbish, Michael.
I
was the one that had
that game.
That had focus group tested all over it. It was kids love Pain. They love this kind of stuff.
Well, see, that got into my mind because I was thinking about Dangerous Golf earlier today, and it just sort of seems to hit exactly the same sort of buttons for me. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Pain sort of bigger environments, prettier. Take the so extremeness out of it, and just actually turn it into something like fun, as opposed to just extreme fun.
Yeah, I hate extreme fun. I still get disappointed that Mario Galaxy hasn't been given a proper, remove of the motion control nonsense and stick it on a Wii U gamepad. Why has that not been done yet?
Because
Really
that game, you don't need to do fuck all to it. Like, have you seen it running on an emulator on a PC?
No.
Like, some stupid resolution. Like, it doesn't suffer from it at all. Like, it's not like, some HD versions of games, you're like, oh, actually, this looks kind of shit now that I can see things clearly. Mario Galaxy looks absolutely incredible.
And then you get the people going, but you can't remove the motion control. Yes, you can. You've got a touchscreen on the Wii U. That could do everything that you could do with your little pointed Wiimote thing. I hate controlling games with that Wiimote. And nunchuck, I just hate it. I just wish I could play on a pad, and that's never going to happen now because they've re-released it on the Wii U and they've kept all that shit in.
Yeah.
So disappointing.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Persona series sort of remastered and re-released. When they did the event over in Japan a couple of weeks ago with the release date announcement for Persona 5, and they had this collector's edition, and I saw 5 discs, and I fucking nearly crapped myself thinking that it was just like, oh my god, they're going to put all of the games out so you can be able to play them on our PS4. And it turned out they were just the soundtracks from the first 5 games. But I would have loved, I'd love to have, Persona 1 through 5, just playable on a big screen. I know we can play, Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. But I would like to, especially, Persona 3 Portable. That would be fantastic to play on a big screen.
Oh man, Left 4 Dead remake. That would be good. Although actually I prefer just a new Left 4 Dead.
Just Left 4 Dead 3, please, now. Thank you.
Please. We were talking about this in the group chat, like between myself, Matt, and James. There are rumours that Shenmue is getting the first 2 games are getting a proper re-release. And if they do, I'm going to stream it.
No, please don't play it.
2 hours of driving around on a forklift. Fucking bring it on.
I know. I love how much James really doesn't want that to happen simply because he never wants me to play it. He come over not too long ago and bought a DVD of all the cutscenes. I think in an attempt to sort of say, look, this is good, but it did nothing. It just made me laugh at it even more.
Yeah,
and by the end he turned it off in rage. Took his ball and went home, the boy. Yeah. James, you got any suggestions?
Do you remember Catherine?
Yeah, I remember Cat. Of course I do.
I'd love to play that again. Like, in higher res. I think it'd be nice.
Really? I mean, that wouldn't be top of my list.
Oh, what do you mean high res? It was on the PS3.
I know, but still even better.
Okay.
That was last gen.
Just more res.
More textures.
Last gen.
Yeah, no, what he's saying is that it's not low res, is it, on the PS3? And it did look pretty good because it was that style, wasn't it?
It could always look better. It was, I don't know.
Want more detail on the giant bomb monster.
That's it.
Moving those blocks around, you could do with some extra polys.
What a waste.
Curve off the edges a little bit on the blocks.
Yeah.
Right, we got time for one more.
Oh, okay. This is difficult. Okay, so let's have a look.
All right, okay. We'll do. How many do you want to read out now?
Let's have a look. We got. Okay, let me see if I can find something that's not related to pedophiles.
If you've not heard Joypod, the series that myself and Michael put together, there was a long-running joke that Michael was a paedophile. That's all I'm going to say. We were young when we started it, thought it was funny, it stuck.
You thought it was funny, fucker.
I did think it was very funny at the time because you were actually a teacher. Talk about not wanting things to be found out on Twitter. That's probably up there if you're a teacher.
Okay, so I'm going to go with this one because this one's not related to that.
Okay.
It's one of the only ones that isn't, or Michael just being, far away, and what's it like being far away from David. We've got this one
gorgeous.
From... Yeah, there you go. Can I join you?
I'll tell you what, the NHS has survived a little bit longer with you gone. Fucking pumping money into you.
I'll tell you what,
Jesus.
the American fucking economy is bloody amazing, the amount of money I'm spending on it.
I wrote a letter to the NHS recently and just look, just before you announced you were going to leave, and just said, just let him die. Just let him go. Stop patching him up. Right, okay, go on.
Okay. Think we'll ever see... Okay, this is from Gavler. It says, think we'll ever see someone else into the console race, and are you interested in the Steam box?
I've always said that Apple will enter it, and now I think I'm finally giving up on that. It just makes so much sense for them to bring out an Apple TV with a genuine controller.
They did. Well, kind of, but not.
No, it
included.
didn't. It bought up the fucking. Oh, you could buy a controller for it, but I mean packed in.
Yeah.
I can't believe they haven't done that. There was someone I was thinking. Who was I thinking of the other day? Thinking, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to release a console.
Razer?
No,
They make all
I
those
can't
nice
remember
accessories.
now. HTC maybe. Something they would do, innit?
But would it not just end up basically being another Ouya?
Well, it would be Google based, Android based, obviously, but I still think there's a market for those sort of, for want of a better phrase, those sort of indie games, on the TV. But Ouya obviously wasn't that.
I was going to say, mate, if you want indie games on your TV, there's only one place to go.
Yeah, but that wasn't. Didn't you have to be submit to the Ouya store and all that sort of shit?
Yeah. So no one really bothered. No, that's not fair. There was tons of games on it last time I looked. Because basically, if you've made your game for Android, then there's an extra process submitting it to the Ouya store. But basically, I think most of your work's done.
You know, my new TV is essentially a Ouya as well.
It's got Android on it, yeah.
It's got Android on it, and you can download games and sync your DualShock 4 to it.
Yeah, because Owen from Midnight Resistance has got a SNES emulator running on his new TV, which sounds ace, to be fair.
I did not know you could do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it, obviously, because it's theft. But that sounds like I might be doing that, actually.
I built a Raspberry Pi a couple of months ago and put a SNES emulator on it, Mega Drive, Nintendo, Master System, whole 9 yards. It's fucking lovely. You should do it, Dave.
I ain't doing that.
You should do it.
I've got to limit myself to how nerdy I can get. Doing it on a 4K television sounds cool. Doing it on just this Raspberry Pi thing, just a step too far for me. Do you know what I mean? I've got a reputation.
It's like a fucking 20-minute job. Piece of piss.
20 minutes of really nerdy shit, though, isn't it? I'm not really playing Dark Souls.
20 minutes.
yeah.
That's it. 20 minutes later, Dave's fucking eyesight has gone down to such a degree that he needs Coke bottle glasses. I think you'll find.
That's it, isn't it? That's it for the show. Matt's not here. What a fucking crashing halt this show's come to. Matt Murray's not here, so I'm going to read out the social media things. I'm not as good. Right. All love us. Put something on the internet about us, will you, and subscribe. iTunes.com/computer games.
You sound like a Cockney Ray Peacock.
We're on Stitch and other social media things. Computer Game Show. Send us an email at gmail.com. And what else? Twitter. We're on Twitter, I think. Computers Show. And hashtag David. So follow us, retweet, and send us money to PayPal. Send us a PayPal account.
When did you learn to read?
No, I'm not reading. This is all from memory, boy.
I still haven't. Fuck reading. That's for nerds.
Michael.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely. Even the paedophilia bits.
Okay, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for living it.
I wanted to say that. Fuck.
Goodbye.